What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video by me, Boilon, and today I want to talk a little bit about, well, you can see it behind me. This kind of has to do with Gambit. This kind of has to do with the Gambit raid, and this kind of has to do with currently the state of the game and how people are feeling about it, circa patch 6.2. I feel like there's a lot of discontent in the community right now based on, a lot of the, well, Gambit raid and a lot of the other things that are going on, or lack thereof. There's some features that we haven't had come to the game that was expected to us on Wednesday. There's been a lot of issues around the patch in general, and I want to discuss all of this and more in today's video. So without further... Nope, I don't do that anymore. I forgot. If you're all ready to go, let's boil it down. And I want to start here really quickly. So this is the Ace of Raids milestone. This is a lot of what the kerfuffle is in the community right now regarding the Gambit raid, and, we're going to talk a little bit about the challenging aspect of it. And, I don't have a problem with new raids. I just want to preface this and start this off by saying I have zero problems with new raids, and actually I was low-key kind of like looking forward to this, and I'm personally not having a super hard time with the raid. But what is one of the biggest problems is, they actually never address the fact that, they kind of expect you to 100% this raid a lot, and we'll take a look at the math later on that one, because you can't even get 7 raid claims, in the first week because of the way that you have to wait 24 hours, and the countdown was already clicking after the store reset, right? So you're only actually, for those who aren't 100%ing, you're only going to get 6 claims and not 7. And actually what a lot of people are doing in anticipation of week number 2 is that they're saving their raid inboxes into week 2 so that you can claim that to get a better chance of getting the Glimmer Bracelet, which is going to be up here at milestone 18, 8330. That's the magic number. And you're going to be, losing out on a bunch of disco balls for week 1 because you're probably not going to get there, right? You're going to be missing probably about 2,500. So probably all the way, I would say, depending on what difficulty you're running, maybe you can get to like milestone 13. I've claimed 2 rewards so far. I'm going to claim 1 more, and then I'm going to start hoarding after that, to push me forward on week 2. But you're going to be losing out on all of these disco balls and all the other rewards as well along the way. So you're kind of sacrificing some in week 1 to do better in week 2. And I think that's just terrible design. I think it's bad by design, the fact that we even have to consider doing that. Because if you didn't do that and you claimed regular rewards, every single day as you should, you're not going to get anywhere near completion. Or, sorry, not completion. You're not even going to get to 8330, which is the magic number for the Glimmer Bracelet. You're not going to get anywhere close to that, and we'll take a look at the math on that one. But, this has just been a bit of a problem through and through, and that's without even talking about the Gambit raid itself. Like I said, my alliance is, quite a veteran alliance. We're, I don't know, a top 500, top 600 alliance. So we're not having that hard of a time. We're at 91% here on difficulty 6. I don't know if we're going to 100% it or not. But the point is the clubs lane for me is not that hard. That being said, the clubs is one of the worst lanes in the entire raid. And a lot of people are having a challenging time on this, which is making them not have a lot of fun. They're actually, is so little fun for a lot of people that they've actually gone out of their way to quit the game. And I've had like over a dozen people send me a message in the last 3 days telling me that Gambit raid is kind of that final push for them to get them to quit the game. Their alliances have collapsed, their alliances are breaking, and they don't want to have to deal with the stress that comes along with this raid and everything else alongside it. And it's really a disappointing time because we're at the start of a brand new patch 6.2, and normally the start of the patch is supposed to be a good time, where we start thinking about, all the things that's going to be upcoming and how we move on into like a new, a new sort of era. But it's all just on the backdrop of this Roland Rebel June event, and how Gambit raid is surrounding that, and how that makes up a significant portion of the points for that. So not only are you losing out potentially on shards for Gambit, the Gambit raid, but this also impacts Dazzler, like I've talked about in the past, and this is a big problem. I think that most people are only going to expect to get probably a 2 or 3 star Gambit. You know, and 3-star is very generous because you're getting 3 shards per orb. And so if I'm doing 60% at difficulty 6, you know, I'm getting almost 2 Gambit raids, right? Almost 2 Gambit orbs. And so if you multiply this by like 13 or 14, you know, that's what, 20, anywhere from 26 to 28 Gambit orbs. Times by 3, that's about 78 to 84 shards, plus the stuff that we got. Like, I'll probably get 3-star. But other people may not, and a lot of other people probably won't. And so at the end of the day, you're talking about a 2-star Gambit for a character that was so hyped up, in a team that was so hyped up, that not only is it impacting your shards on Gambit, but it's also impacting the shards that you're going to get on Dazzler. And that just feels bad. Like, it doesn't even matter about Rogue. Like, I just don't want to level up a team that I'm only going to have a 2 or 3-star character on. It just doesn't feel good. We know that stars matter, and stars scale up the stats, and for a team like this, it does matter how high you have their stars. So I don't want to invest in a 2-star Gambit or a 3-star Dazzler because that's all I'm able to get. It just doesn't feel good, and this is actually, frankly, in my opinion, some of the worst character releases to date, and that's saying something. Just behind characters like Echo and Captain America Sam in the past, who had the Strike Pass, so that was like 50/100 shards depending on both of the Strike Passes that he had. So it wasn't very good there. And that's not all. So I want to talk about 6.2 and how this is all started. Like what we're missing, right? And so you guys, this is the 6.2 release notes, patch notes here, and we have the 7-day login streak here. Unlock a new milestone. You guys might have remembered this. Actually, you know what? Before we talk about that, I want to talk about this because this is more in depth. This was the blog post previously to that. 7-day login streak. Arriving with 6.2 is the 7-day login streak. You guys might remember this, but maybe forgot about it because it wasn't there at launch, right? You know, after logging in for 7 consecutive days, you'll enjoy automatically completing several daily objectives, additional rewards for spending your campaign energy, and the new raid sim feature for select raids. Where is that, you might ask? Not in this game. It's not here yet. So where is it? Activating the 7-day login streak. So basically, you just need to log in 7 days. I don't even know if you need to complete your daily objectives necessarily, but it's designed that after you log in for 7 days, it like auto completes your daily objectives, and you have to be of a certain level to get this, I guess. But you know, and then the raid sim, right? So both of these features not in the game right now. When are we getting it? Nobody knows. Available in the Doom, Ultimates, and Greek raids. I was looking forward to this, just even to fuck around, you know, in the Doom raid to see whether or not I could properly raid sim in Doom 2. While it's unlikely, you know, I don't even have that chance to even try it, right? You know, and that's a little bit of a disappointment because they promised us a decrease of screen time, which they've actually done the opposite, right? And I just want to pivot really quickly back the Gambit raid. So we removed the Greek raids and we added in the Gambit raids. The Greek raids is something that we could auto. The Gambit raids, I don't know about you, and maybe some of you can, but I can't. Definitely not in clubs. Cannot auto the Gambit raid without screwing something up. Okay? So they've added on more manual time, I would say in the realm of 25 minutes. 30 minutes? Gambit raid is long because you have 30 fucking enemies. You have anywhere from like 25 to 35 enemies per node. And in some cases, it takes me like 4 minutes at least to clear the nodes. While for me, it's not super difficult. It is time consuming. And they've added, I actually, on my own, I'm probably clearing at least 8 or 9 nodes. So I'm probably actually spending about a half hour at least on Gambit raid. And not to mention the amount of additional time spent outside of Marvel Strike Force, in Discord, in otherwhere, to plan for Gambit Raid, to assign lanes, and all the planning that was involved in Gambit Raid before it even came. There was so, and I'm a leader, you know, and I kind of had to delegate to my captain, to my raid captain, and say, hey, can you help me out? There was just so much here, and so much additional time outside the game that made this just not fun. And here we are, and people are still not having fun. So much so, actually, that there's so many posts on Reddit talking about this, and we're going to look at that really quickly. I just wanted to raise this part. So, no raid sims, just to recap. No 7-day login streak for auto completions, daily objectives. To be honest, I didn't know how much time this was going to save anyways, because it was just auto... Daily objectives don't take very long. You get to avoid the RTA thing, which I guess is something. But other than that, the rest of it, this take like 2 minutes maybe. It really didn't save much time. Other than the arena battles, which you should be doing anyways to keep up with arena. But the rest of the stuff really doesn't save any time at all, other than RTA. So that's just one thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing that I want to talk about is all of the posts on Reddit that have just been negative towards the Gambit raid. All you have to do is scroll through, and you can see like every other post has something to do with Gambit raid. You know, this is what are we? We're recording this at 1 p.m. on Saturday, and here we are. Like they're okay. Maybe there's not a lot yet. They're trust me, they're here. So, Gambit raids, there's some that are pretty highly upvoted. Absolutely demoralizing Gambit event. There's some other ones that I probably should have just typed. You know what? Fuck it. We're just going to type in Gambit and then search by time once it loads. Here we go. Sort by new. Anything with the text of Gambit in it, right? And this is probably what I should have done from the start, actually. I swear my internet's not slow. I actually have really good internet. Gambit raid is... Oh, crap, sorry. Gambit raid is a neat idea in theory, but was poorly executed. I actually could agree with that, because I had some interesting hopes for the Gambit raid, and I was looking forward. Like I said, you know, I like the idea of a new raid, but it just was poorly executed. Gambit raids, epic fail, absolutely demoralizing Gambit event. Raids are my favorite part of the game, and so one person likes the Gambit raids. Is the Gambit raid the scummiest thing this game has done? 105 upvotes. Alright? Can we roll over Gambit raids until... A lot of people are asking about, you know, whether or not the milestone, or the cards are going to roll over into the second week. I hope that they do. The overall health of the game is poor. 128 upvotes. 87 upvotes. I hate Gambit raids more than I did RTA. And that's saying something. Don't be like me and bring up Phantom X for Gambit raid. Oh yeah, by the way, he sucks standalone. Don't do that. I hope nobody did that. I don't find the Gambit raids fun. 213 upvotes. You guys might have remembered on the blog post they said something about Gambit raid fun, and people like made fun of them, made fun of Cerebro for posting that kind of nonsense. 96 upvotes. Gambit raids are criminal, difficult, and mathematically silly. And then some responses to Cerebro's blog post from the other day. It's just, you know, and it goes on and on and on. Like, there are other ones. I don't even know what's in this. I don't know what the dev response is on this one. Slackers dragging us down, 361 upvotes. I imagine this has something to do with Gambit raid as well, because I typed in Gambit, so most likely there's something in here related to Gambit. There's just so many of these. Has Scopely addressed yet how the Gambit milestone events expire before the final raid rewards are given? We talked about that earlier on in this video. So, again, I'm not going to go down too much further, but it's just crazy, right? There's so many of these comments, and a lot of people are feeling the same way. And I just don't get it. And it just feels really bad. And I want to end by showing you guys the math part, because, yeah, that comment above that said mathematically silly, it kind of is. And so if you guys don't remember, if you didn't watch my video on the math part of this before it went live, the only scenarios in which you get the Glimmer Bracelet in this event, and let's be honest, difficulty 8 and 9 are incredibly difficult. I did difficulty 7. We may have been able to do difficulty 8 like once, but I don't know. Like clubs would have been, you get bent over backwards probably in clubs on difficulty 8 and 9, so I'm not even going to consider it. But you would have had to 60% difficulty 9 Gear Tier 16 enemies every single day, you know, to just barely squeeze by on the Glimmer Bracelet. And then otherwise you need to 100% on difficulty 6, 7, 8, or 9 to do that. And I don't know how many people who are doing 100% on 8 and 9. 6 is more reasonable because that's what we're doing right now. But that, again, that barely squeezes by. You need 8330, and then you'll get 8750 is the average that I came up with. So this is a very unfriendly event. And if you're not doing difficulty 6 at all, or even, yeah, if you're not anywhere close, then you're going to need to hoard your rewards, and even then, you might not get that Glimmer Bracelet in week 2. If you're hoarding week 1's rewards to claim it in week 2, and I hope that it works that way, you still might not get the Glimmer Bracelet and the rewards associated in week 2. The bar is too high, and I think that was the problem. That 8330, that magic number, I think that bar was raised a little bit too high. I think that if it was maybe 6,500, maybe 7,000, 6,500, 7,000, that might have been a more reasonable range for people to be able to get to, because I say that because if you 100% of difficulty 3 or 4, you might have been in that range, and I think that would have been a more reasonable target for this item. Otherwise, I think that they scaled this way too high, and as a result, people are getting really frustrated to the degree that they're actually considering quitting the game, or they already have, and I think that's a big problem, because we're just at the start of the patch. We have a long way to go We're not even there yet. We haven't even got to Rogue Scourge event, and already people are considering on quitting. So let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts have been over the last few days since Wednesday. How have you been impacted by it? You know, how are you going to do going forward? How has this impacted your alliance? Have you had any problems with it? Has any alliance members quit the game, quit your alliance? Has it collapsed? Because I've heard from a lot of people that this has been a problem, and it's really unfortunate because we can do better. The game can do better. Scopely needs to do better, as they normally do. So that's the end of this video. Till next time, stay safe and healthy, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.